Hello again. Today the subject is hypnosis. Hypnosis is a way to communicate with your unconscious mind. For example, when we are awake, we have a critical factor watching over us so that we don't believe in everything anybody have to say to us. This critical factor I'm mentioning here evolves a person when he or she gets older. For example, it comes to a point when a person stops believing in Santa Claus. Here, the critical factor is associated with what kind of state and brainwaves you have. For example, in the beta state, it works normally. And when you are in deep states of alpha, theta or delta, the critical factor is not as sharp. That's why, for example, you can dream of all kinds of weird things, and you don't understand that it is a dream. So this was a little introduction about the critical factor. Even I know that this big title here is hypnosis, but there is a reason for why this is mentioning. Because hypnosis is a process that bypasses the critical factor and plants a seed into the unconscious mind. Again, the critical factor is mentioned because it can hinder you from believing things. Have you ever experienced a person giving you a compliment and the person doesn't believe? Or that if you have given someone a compliment, they don't believe you? What the mind can conceive, you can achieve. We know what we think affects our behavior and feelings, which gives us feedback from the outer world. Feedback we then integrate as truth. There is much truth in the saying, perception is reality. When we look at others' behavior, we are often seeing their truth, which is why they behave the way they do. For example, a person who believes he can't dive will probably not try it out. He doesn't believe he can, well, he doesn't try it out. By altering your mind's truth, you change your perception of the world, which again changes your behavior. Now let's look at hypnotic induction. The hypnotist usually starts the hypnosis with an induction, the process of being relaxed. Here a person will be more suggestible for commands and suggestion. An example is to describe a vacation, picturing yourself at the beach, and verbally describing all the senses. We are describing how the back is touching the sand, how you hear the noises from the sea, and how the temperature is not being too hot and neither not too cold, but just perfect. How you can feel the sun shining, how the warmth is spreading throughout your body, how the sky is blue with just some few white clouds passing by. This is an example of hypnosis. The point in describing a scene and describing the environment and describing different processes is that it will guide you to feel certain things. And if you actually were there in those environments, it would have those effects for you. So the more details you can describe, the better it is for your body and how realistic it is for you to feel this and actually become relaxed. Also, something I will mention now is progressive relaxation. Since many people have issues with the word and concept of hypnosis, many people in the alternative business instead call this guided imagination. Just a little info there. The unconscious mind. The unconscious mind, also known as the body, oversees about 95% of all the data and information that is in your mind-body complex. Your unconscious patterns drive you. Watch how a person behaves after some weeks or months, and you can notice what patterns he or she has in the background, in the back of his mind. These patterns are mechanical and automatically reactions that are influencing a person's lives over time. When you hear, for example, about girls who time and again get attracted to bad boys, it's their unconscious patterns driving them to find exactly what they have experienced before. You see? They are seeking something they are experiencing that they have experienced before, so they can experience it again. Patterns repeat themselves. So if a person doesn't change, it is very likely that the same patterns will keep running. The same things will keep happening. Hypnosis is one of the ways to change your patterns. But it's not just enough to inform people and tell them explicitly that their beliefs and behavior, aka their patterns, is wrong. No, they have to change their patterns as a deep level. The unconscious mind is powerful, just like a supercomputer. Some of the best sport players, for example, in the whole world use hypnosis to get these amazing results. Repeating our behavior many times will lead to a pattern, a routine, or behavior that feeds the nerves and brain to repeat this behavior that you want. Practice makes perfect, provided you with clear goals, and you will keep getting better. It is also important to get rewards for your behavior so you feel good and your nerve system feels free. You're in the free flow state. This means that information flows more freely and it's easier to succeed. Okay, commands and suggestions. After the induction relaxation state in hypnosis, the hypnotist can start to give suggestions and command by repeating things. Say things with embedded commands and put weight on specific words. For example, and in the future you will feel good. Now it is time to go deeper into trance. Did you see what I just did there? I explicit put weight on the words feel good now, and I like baked it into a sentence. The hypnotist may also express subliminals by, for example, whispering words that you consciously don't recognize but will be recognized by the unconscious mind, which simply just translate information. Give your unconscious mind information and it will process it. Therefore, a person can be programmed both positively and negatively. Info is info for the mind, and the unconscious just does its job to process the information given to it. So make sure to give it positive information. The mind might have a hard time translating words like not, don't. So if you say don't smoke in a sentence, you risk your mind to process this as smoke, because the mind doesn't hear the word don't. Metaphors and symbols. The hypnotist can also use metaphors and symbolic language to help you. Symbolic language is using words like vibrations, light, see a realization washing over you, and etc. These symbolic metaphors triggers the symbolic part of the brain. Some research has shown that symbols involve more of the brain because it uses the brain's creative part to decode or understand the abstract concept. A typical example is, imagine you are in an elevator and for each level you go down, you get more relaxed. This is a typical metaphor. The elevator metaphor. Now, data can be processed as words or picture. Just like words, imagination and visualization are expression of data to the unconscious mind. Hypnosis with words is just another side of the coin of setting goals and manifesting good things, just like visualization is. You may now wonder, how does it feel, hypnosis? It is very subtle. Okay, I will give you another example. Compare hypnosis to having a birthday party where all your friends and people you know are there celebrating you and giving you good, positive feedback. They smile and laugh with you. That situation will give you a little boost in your self-confidence. It will be a drop of validation for you. That's how I would say hypnosis works. It forms your mind to see positive experiences. Okay, let's look at post-hypnotic suggestion. It is very normal that an hypnotist gives something called post-hypnotic suggestions. These are suggestions on how to behave and what to look for in the future. So when these future cues and events come, you will react more in tune about what the hypnotist have told you. This will lead to you changing your patterns. If not, you will probably react and respond as you always do in these similar events. It's always good to change. Shake things up, change things. Hypnosis can also be a tool to open metaphysical areas, including out-of-body experience, lucid dreaming, automatic writing, and past lives. If you actually believe this metaphysical stuff or not is totally up to you. I know many people don't believe it, but I'm simply saying that hypnosis can be used in this field as well. Now, hypnosis can be described as programming you. And just for your information, it works even better if you do it after deprogramming you. Deprogramming is, for example, doing something called TRE, trauma release exercise. So after doing that, after deprogramming yourself, it's the perfect time to program yourself with the use of, for example, hypnosis. When you then use hypnosis, the different words and concepts that you are instructed to listen to will then fill the gap, the space that has just been released or erased. Self-hypnosis. Another nuance is self-hypnosis. Here is how you do it. You start by relaxing yourself with beautiful imaginary scenes. And then you can mentally say to yourself, when you count down from 10, you will go to a deeper level for each countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7. This is followed by giving yourself positive suggestions, such as trust yourself. You have all the reason to trust yourself. You can do it. You can do it. Practice makes perfect. You are really motivated. You can also picture scenes or patterns you keep running into and mentally say to yourself, next time this scenario happens, and you visualize the scenario that keeps happening, I will do this pattern or this behavior instead of the old one. Then describe the new one and picture the new behavior. This is changing yourself from the inside out. They say that to change a behavior or a pattern, it takes about 21 days with daily repeating of the new behavior. The mind doesn't difference much about what happens in the outer world and your inner world, aka your imagination. So you can practice playing basketball in the outer world, or you can visualize you scoring the basketball. Now, for the mind, the outer or inner pictures is almost just data. It doesn't make really a difference. Another example about this outer and inner world concept. Okay, so let's say you close your eyes and imagine you're holding a public speech. Here you will see everybody happy and smiling and liking what you say. Then, when you go on stage, you have this inner representation of the world. And this would likely happen because you imagined everybody smiling and you felt good. And when you feel good, your body language opens up and you become more expressive and more charismatic. It ends up with people paying attention and smiling. Now the loop is complete. Finally, I will recommend everything with Glenn Howell. I just love that guy. Personally, I have listening to, for example, his Solfegio series, and you can actually just buy it at your app on your iPhones. Okay, this was all I had to say today about the topic of hypnosis. I hope I will talk to you later. Bye bye now.